Welcome to another episode on our channel. I was going to make the second pet from The Walking Dead, Michonne's pets. I had found the body on Blackout Toys, and then wouldn't you know it, I saw the full figure at a price I just couldn't walk away from. To have finished making the other one, it would have cost me about the same amount that I paid for this thing. So it was quite a deal, and I was happy to get it. So I love this figure. It's not a carbon copy of the other pet that Michonne has, but it's close. They both have weathered jeans, and these jeans on these two guys are just awesome in terms of weathering. I think what they did is that they took a dark pair of jeans, they ironed creases into the jeans. They had to be long jeans because there are a lot of creases in these jeans. And they took some sandpaper and just applied pressure to get a weathering effect. Then they took some a seam ripper in strategic places, put some rips into the jeans. So they did a tremendous job on these jeans. And then the boots are black, but there's some brown weathering. Looks like dirt on the boots. The backpack, the first pet has a completely black backpack. This one has a brown and black, larger backpack. And the weathering on this is awesome as well. What is especially nice about these figures in terms of zombies, if you're into zombies, is that from the neck all the way to the midsection, it's one piece. And it's not plastic, it's some form of rubber. You can really tell if you press on the back and the midsection, it's hard rubber, but it's rubber. So he can bend, and his body can twist. But it's not like they took an articulated body, cut the arms off, and you can see where the arm attaches and everything. This is one piece. That is really nice. It gives it more realism in terms of this presentation. They really did a lot of work on these two figures. So it's any wonder if you're looking at buying one of these pets today, you're probably going to spend $200, $300 on it. If you want the set, the two guys, yeah, $500, $600. And if you want Michonne with the two guys, $700, $800, $900, $1,000. I've seen it higher than that too. I mean, it's ridiculous in terms of pricing. So not getting in and buying a lot of these figures when they first came out. Of course, I never even heard of the show, so I missed the boat completely. But I've been fortunate enough to have found deals on these figures. So these are these two guys that she runs around with, has them on a chain, each one of them on a chain. They're called Pets by ThreeZero, Pet 1 and Pet 2. This is Pet 2. You've already seen Pet 1. She has cut off their arms and broken their jaws. So basically, they can't harm her. They can't grab her. They can't bite her. I mean, it's, in this condition, they're basically carrying her stuff. And when she walks through a crowd of zombies, she's not noticed because these guys are with her. She's very well hidden and is never the focus of attention by zombies looking for fresh kills to eat. So anyway, this is awesome. So we'll pause now and get him on a turn tray and see him from different angles, and then we'll get some tighter shots on him. when I show a figure I always put the figure on the square stand to begin with. Then I switch it over to a different stand if I'm going to show the figure with another group of figures that it belongs to. This square stand is the only square stand I have. What's neat about the stand, though, is that I'm going to lose a piece of him when I show you this, is that, now he's back in view, is that it opens up. So if you really want more, shall I say, more space, you can just turn the holder and he's got more space. If you just want to use a small amount of space, you just fold it. Yeah. Hello, my little one. That's like the third time she's done that. I think she waits for these moments to be a star. I don't know. Anyway, the other thing I like about the two figures that ThreeZero produce is not just the attention to detail in terms of weathering, the jeans, the backpack, and using one piece from the neck on down to the midsection, but they could have probably gotten away with using the same figure for both guys, but they're clearly different. You have to look, but if you look closely, they are clearly different from how the jaw is broken to the wounds on the body. So a lot of attention to detail went into these two figures. And this is pet number 2. So let's go around and see him from different directions. Get a little more straighter here. You can start to see the weathering on the backpack. And jeans. I've never seen jeans like this that are so awesome in terms of the weathering process. The seam rips, the discoloration, it's just all absolutely amazing. I think I have him leaning too far forward. I'll make that adjustment when we get the close-up from here on it. So we'll be right back. We are back, and we might have to call this Underground Action Figures plus Cat, because our cat, Miss Chelsea, just for the last few episodes wants to jump on the table and off. That's her thing now. You probably noticed she doesn't have a tail. She's like our little bobcat, but basically, some of you know the story, some of you may not, but she usually comes out for a back rub at night when I'm working on the computer at the desk, and I'll give her a back rub. You know, she has to have that every night. And so I did so one night, and the next night I did the same thing. Wasn't really looking at her, just, you know, giving her the from the head to the tail, you know, back rub. And I got to the tail, and there was this mass on her tail the size of a ping pong ball. And it was hard and non-movable. And that's usually the sign of a cancer that's malignant. And but we brought her in to get the biopsy done. Mind you, she'd never been out of the house after we had found her as a kitten on our block. You know, we went to the vet then to get her shots and that sort of thing, but never been out of the house for 14 years. So we brought her into the vet to get the biopsy done. And when we got back home, she shot underneath the bed and would not come out from underneath the bed for like 2 or 3 days. And, you know, we had talked about surgery on the tail, removing the tail, and, you know, because the vet said if the cancer was contained, she could have a normal lifespan. And so we had thought about that, but with her not coming out from under the bed, we didn't think that would be fair to her in terms of a quality of life issue. And so we had decided we would put her down, and we called the vet to make the appointment to put her down. He asked why we were going to do that, and we said, well, she's traumatized. She won't come out from under the bed. We can't do that to her. And he said, well, she's probably in pain. Let me give you some pain meds and let's see what happens, and then you can decide what to do from there. And so we got the prescription and gave her the pain meds, and she came out from underneath the bed. And now we're thinking maybe we can do the surgery and roll the dice and see what happens. You know, if the cancer is contained, she could have a normal lifespan. And so we made the decision to go ahead and do the surgery, and then waited for the results. And the results came back better than we hoped for. I mean, the cancer was completely contained to the tail, and the vet said she would have a normal lifespan, 4 or 5 years. And she's 14 now, so that was worth it. So she's our little precious little cat, tiny cat. Never had a health problem up until that point in time, and came through like a trooper. So she doesn't have a tail. This guy doesn't have 2 arms. I guess that's relevant, isn't it? Anyway, so enough of that. Maybe that won't be a pattern of her jumping onto the table and off while we do these episodes. But if she shows up, she's just wanting to be noticed, I guess. So anyway, let's go around and look at him in more detail. Again, one piece from the neck all the way down to the midsection. They really did a great job on these 2 figures. And you can see the weathering on the backpack. But I'm still in awe of the jeans. That is so cool, what they did with the jeans. Not just weathering, but seam rips in certain places. He looks awesome. So we'll pause now and get a close-up of his face. He's what he is. He's a zombie. So we'll just go side to side with the face, but you'll notice that there are wounds up here at the top of the head. And on the other pet, the wounds are different. So here's one side. And the other. All right, here you go. So here's Michonne and her 2 pets. Some of you know the story with Michonne. I couldn't find a ThreeZero figure at a reasonable price. And so I bought a 3D resin print off of eBay because my husband didn't have time to make a 3D resin print of Michonne. And when that came, much to my chagrin, it was at least 1/5 scale, not 1/6 scale. So I had my husband make this 3D resin print for me. I painted her. She is 1/6 scale. She's crouched down. That's why she looks a little shorter. But if she were standing up straight, she would be where she needs to be in terms of proportional sizing here. But she is crouched down with her sword at the ready. So anyway, so here's Michonne and her 2 pets. This is pet number 1. Comes with the blue-green underwear, and pet number 2 with the red plaid underwear. You can tell they're different because this guy has a wound in the forehead, and this guy has wounds more at the top of the head, and the wounds on the body are in different places, and the jeans are slightly different, similar but slightly different. The backpacks are definitely different. This one is larger, the figure we just saw compared to this one. But this is pretty accurate to the series, and really happy to get both figures. So here's one last look at our figure with the other guy, one being a boyfriend who was bitten and became a zombie, and the other guy, the friend of the boyfriend who was bitten and became a zombie. So the two pets and Michonne. I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.